Hello there, lovers. Hello there, bellas. If you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, I'm talking to you. Hey, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Toya Jackson. Bye, Toya Jackson. For the next 2 weeks, Joseph was distraught without mother, calling her constantly, begging her to come back home. Every day, mother called me from Alabama to say, LaToya, he's been crying on the phone, begging me to come back. Mother, are you going to get a divorce or not? You're not really sure, are you? Well, you should hear him. He's crying like a baby. I detected a measure of satisfaction in her voice. That doesn't sound like Joseph to me, Mother. Well, he loves me and wants me back, she said firmly. Apparently, Joseph touched her heart because a week or two later, she was back. We'd never seen him so desperate or so contrite. He stopped seeing his girlfriends and wouldn't go to the office, staying around the house instead. I couldn't remember the last time he'd been home so much. But soon my father was back to his old ways. Only now, instead of merely rubbing his affairs in his wife's face, he felt compelled to telegraph his sordid activities to his children as well. I recall sitting in Joseph's office with Janet once opposite one of his girlfriends, Judy. We'll call her a secretary. She made a big show of thumbing through a mail order catalog, ordering expensive items over the phone. Child, it wasn't no catalog but the Spiegel. Y'all remember Spiegel? Child, it was either the Spiegel or the Finger Hut. I'll move forward. The name on the credit card is, she raised her voice deliberately, Joseph Jackson. She must have ordered more than $1,000 worth of merchandise while we sat right there. After hanging up, she sashayed into my father's private inner office and in a shrewish voice demanded, "Give me the other credit card." "Shh," we heard Joseph say. "They can hear you." "Can you believe how she's talking to him, ordering him around?" I whispered to my sister. Before Janet could respond, Judy was back in her chair, dialing another number. "Yes, you know those shoes in your window? The ones with the rhinestones? Well, I'd like a pair of those charged to Joseph Jackson and delivered to my address, which is ... What really made us angry were her repeated phone calls to Joseph at home. It was disrespectful to mother, who sometimes answered. When she couldn't stand it anymore, my mother told Judy, out of respect to me, do not ever call my home again and get out my husband's office. You don't tell me what to do. The girl returned. Then mother issued Joseph an ultimatum that if he didn't fire Judy immediately, she'd file for a divorce again, and this time for good. Girl, I'm not taking that deal, Pickle. Nobody believes you, girl. You're going to need more people on that one. Divorce Joseph? Y'all, did she ever divorce Joseph? Don't worry, my father assured her. I'll take care of it. But of course he didn't. As mother discovered upon dialing Joseph's office and hearing Judy's unmistakable hello, Joe Jackson Productions. "That's it," mother shouted, slamming down the receiver. "I cannot take this another minute." She, Randy, and his girlfriend, Julie, hopped in the car and sped to Joseph's office. Judy looked up from her desk to find mother glowering down at her. "I want you to leave this place right now." "No," she said snidely. "You can't tell me what to do." "Then we should talk. Let's go out in the hallway." Judy accompanied mother all right, but not voluntarily. My demure mother actually grabbed her by the hair and dragged her screaming out the door. "I don't understand how you mistresses' hoes don't have hands. There's no way that you can be maneuvering on top of another woman's man, husband, baby daddy, whatever the case may be, and not have hands. Why do you think that eventually that woman will not come to your door and knock you the F out?" And I know she probably thinking in her mind, "Oh, that's Catherine. She ain't gonna do nothing. Judy accompanied mother all right, but not voluntarily. My demure mother actually grabbed her by the hair and dragged her screaming out the door. Onlookers didn't know whether to intervene or to laugh. I would have laughed. Get her, Catherine. Get her, Catherine. Knock her out. Knock her out. When she got as far as the staircase, mother let her go and ordered, "You leave my husband alone. Do you hear me? I'm sick of you." Regrettably, the story made all the music industry trade papers. Judy wasn't hurt as much as scared and surprised. See? Now here's the truly amazing part of the story. Even following the assault, Judy and my father remained an item for a number of years. But while mother was unsuccessful in quashing the affair, she'd demonstrated to my father and to her children that she was no longer the same meek, forgiving, long-suffering woman. She would never again stand by silently and tolerate anything that threatened her marriage or her family. Mother began to change in ways that weren't entirely becoming. Girl, sometimes you got to get ratchet. You got to get ratchet with these hoes. Shortly after Prince released Soft and Wet, he shyly introduced himself to me at a roller skating party. Hi, I said nonchalantly. I'm Prince. Yeah, I know. Luke, can you get away from me with all that grunting stuff? Go over there, baby. Go over there. Ooh. Damn, I done scratched my baby face with these fucking dragon nails. There was no mistaking his large brown eyes, downy mustache, and straight black hair. Although I was sitting down to put on my skates, he was barely my height. I just want you to know that I'm madly in love with you, he whispered passionately. God damn, Latoya, girl. Is the word out around town that you the soft and wet, Latoya? Is that what's happening? You the soft and wet? What the world? Prince wanted something you, girl. Do all the men want your ass? Damn, it's not right. I just want you to know that I'm madly in love with you, he whispered passionately. Oh, I thought this was his way of complimenting someone. I had no idea of his real intentions until he said, I have all your pictures and everything. I like everything about you. His voice trailed off as if he had run out of words. Oh, that's nice. Most girls would have kissed him or slapped him. Me, I stood up, offered a cheery, well, hope you have a nice time tonight, and skated off. In fall 1980, my brothers released their second self-produced album, Triumph, which surpassed Destiny in sales and carried 2 major hits, Lovely Ones and Heartbreak Hotel. One of its songs, Can You Feel It, was made into a fantastic video that, in my opinion, stands as one of the genre's most creative. In it, Jackie, Tito, Marlon, Michael, and Randy appear as omnipotent, benevolent creators, dispensing joy, wisdom, and enlightenment in showers of celestial dust. Girl, you ain't had to get all. I mean, girl, come on. That was creative writing, girl, for sure. But goodness gracious, girl. But anyway, pause. When I'm reading the names in the video, I'm not even thinking that Jermaine is not a part of the group. I don't. What was I thinking? The guys never fell out of love with music. But touring gradually became a burden, especially for those with children. At every opportunity during the 1981 tour, they jetted home, even if only for a day or two. Their shows were as energetic and exciting as ever, but watching them from the wings, I could tell that sometimes a couple of them wanted to be someplace else. When the Jacksons took a short hiatus following the final date, our manager, father, turned his attentions to his youngest daughter. Besides touring and recording, I was volunteered by my father for various public functions. Whether I felt they were or were not in my career's best interest never concerned him, for he knew I would never dare refuse any of his orders. One of these obligations was to act as presenter at the American Music Awards. The day of the live broadcast, I fell ill with severe stomach pains. While I lay in bed in agony, my parents stood around wondering what to do. Joseph grumbled, "I know what can cure this," left the room, and returned with the prescription bottle containing a very mild tranquilizer. Turning to Janet, who'd wandered in from her room, he said, "Get dressed and be ready, because if Latoya's sick, you'll have to stand in for her." My sister was all heart. "You better get well real quick," she warned, "because I'm not going on stage for you. Now get up." Joseph handed her the small plastic bottle, instructing, "Give Latoya this medication every 2 hours. You hear me?" The limo soon arrived, and before I knew it, she and I were on our way. The hours of preparation, rehearsals, and waiting dragged on and on. Every time I emitted the tiniest groan, Janet brandished the pill bottle, chirping merrily, "Here, it's time to take more." I'd never taken any kind of drug before, and even though this was quite mild, I was soon very, very relaxed. "I don't want any more, Jan," I said groggily, feeling the words mush in my mouth. "I feel so drowsy, and I'm tired, so tired." "Latoya," she commanded, determined to see me up on that stage, "open your mouth." Soon as I was feeling no pain whatsoever, and not much of anything else, we sat in the audience during the live show, me in a long white beaded gown, waiting for my turn. Janet maintained a running commentary, whispering that she thought the host, singer Teddy Pendergrass, liked me. "Can't you tell he's looking at you?" "Janet, I don't care about anything." Finally, the call came. "Okay, Latoya," my sister piped up, "it's time for you to go on stage." "On stage? Where am I?" "You're at the American Music Awards." Janet gripped me by the shoulders and shook me. "Now get up there." Somehow I made it to the podium, gave my speech, and presented the award as planned. That night I slept like a baby. Janet and I were like my mother and her sister, Hattie, growing up in East Chicago. She as tomboyish and aggressive as I was, feminine and soft-spoken. At least several times a week, Michael invited famous guests to Havenhurst. Marlon Brando, Sophia Loren, Muhammad Ali, Elizabeth Taylor, and so on. Since household help was on the premises at all times and you never knew which celebrity you might encounter downstairs, we were never completely relaxed in our own house. You couldn't dress sloppily or pad around in your bathrobe as much as it irritated most of us. We tried dressing neatly at all times. Janet, though, didn't think twice about bounding downstairs clad in only a wrinkled t-shirt and a baseball cap. As guests looked on in disbelief, she'd offer a chirper hi and go about her business. Michael was mortified and as close to furious as he ever got. "Don't come downstairs unless you're dressed, Janet," he scolded. "You never know who's going to be here, and it's embarrassing, please." "I can't stand this house," Janet grumbled. "You can never walk around the way you want. First, there's too much help, and you always have to put on clothes because of them. Then you can't go downstairs and look the way you want. It makes me so mad." I understood how she felt, but diplomatically pointed out, "Jan, your t-shirt is up to there. And, ever the tease Michael had to crack, and look at your fat, funky thighs," sending our sister storming into her room and slamming the door. From the hall, we could hear her angrily shoo her dogs off the bed. What most girls wouldn't give to have a brother like Michael. Whenever I was upset, he went out of his way to cheer me up, driving to the store and bringing me back a stack of magazines or Three Stooges videos that we'd watch together. Or he'd do something special like surprising me with an autographed picture of Frank Sinatra or inviting one of my favorite authors, the inspiring O.G. Mondino, over to the house. I'll never forget that. Now that also is a Virgo trait. Virgos typically go out their way. When they're not laying around being lazy, they do small things like that to keep you in love with them. By early 1983, the album my brother claimed would be the biggest seller in history was on its way to becoming just that.
all the